like it. I like it. What's up, Jalen? How you doing, man?
Man, it's a long day. One of those days. We surviving.
Care to explain?
Just a lot. Gotta go here. Gotta see this person. This is just a lot. It's one of those days. Driving around on the road.
Why you don't? Just for the record, you don't have to go see anybody.
I know. Yeah, you don't have to.
Like you can just like
Yeah, you could just, but sometimes you just have to. You have to have.
you could just do what I do. Just like no, and they're like, well, but I thought you shouldn't have thought. The answer is no.
I mean, hey, that's definitely an option. Maybe I should take that option, but sometimes somebody from the family gotta go. You know what I mean?
No, not me.
No, hey, I hear you.
This is maturing. Is learning the word no and not caring, because you got to do what you got to do. So hey, maybe that's just me, but so that's fine. I tell everybody. I tell them, they're like, hey, nope. Why? I don't have to tell you why. I'm a grown ass man. I can't be there. You asked. I said no. Cool. That's it. That's the explanation. That's it. Listen, it was my birthday last week. And I play ball every couple days a week, but on Fridays I play ball, and after ball we go out, we have a few drinks. I said, all right, cool. Who's coming? Somebody said, I'm not coming. I don't ask why. You're not coming? Okay, cool. Peace. And they're like, oh, because I go, I don't care. I'm like, no, but I have to. I don't care. Can't come. See you next week.
I hear you.
If you're there, cool. You're not there? That's so I'll teach you as you get older. I teach you as you get older.
Gotcha.
Do you dabble, or have you dabbled in crypto at all?
I did. There was a phase. I still have, some crypto, but there was definitely a phase, I want to say a year and a half ago or almost 2 years ago. Everything was booming, right? Like everybody was coming out with the coin, this and that. Oh, shoot, I remember you were checking Trust Wallet, Binance every day. Not so much as now, kind of have, some of the main stuff, the Bitcoin, Ethereums and all that. But none of the other what are the coins? What are the other coins you call it? The name that they have for the altcoins. Called the altcoins. That stuff definitely seemed to have died out.
Do you have Telegram?
I do have Telegram, yeah.
So this is actually really cool. I don't know if you could see. Oh yeah, you can see the banner down there.
Yep.
For starbot.pro.
Okay.
It's actually really cool. It's all like trading on, and you can do it through Telegram.
Interesting.
So there's like how Telegram has those bots that allows you to do stuff. So it's pretty cool. You can sign up through there, do all your trades through there. And like for people who don't know what they're doing, this is my favorite part. You know me, I like free stuff. So they you can actually go on and they'll give you like play money, and you can try it out and see like, oh yeah, this is something I can
practice.
And practice so you can understand. It's like there's another I wish I knew the name of the company, but there's like a day trading company, like for regular like day traders, traditional, not in crypto, that does the same thing where they give you like, let you go and use the back end of their tool and use it. So anyways, I thought that was kind of cool. And this is just for you. So nobody who's watching, no one who sees this down the road, you're not allowed to use this. This is just for Jalen. Because I want you to win some money.
Okay, that's always
nice.
Check
this out. Join our Wrecked Rally trading competition and get up to $20,000 in rewards. Reliably trade ERC 20 tokens at lightning speed. No need for Uniswap or slippage problems. Climb the leaderboard and be the best. Trade with Starbot and get protected from MEV attacks. Win $20,000 by trading any ERC 20 token. Do you want to be a loser or a winner? Trade now and get rewards with Starbot.
You want to be a winner or loser? My favorite part. I'll put the link. The link will be in the description after the show is done. So I thought, when I see good opportunities for people, I want to put them out there. But that being said,
my money back from the parlay that missed in the WNBA.
Oh, what happened?
5 for 6, so close. WNBA was looking good. That's actually some edges. I missed what's her name? Derica Hamby over 12.5 rebounds. She just forgot the rebound. She got like 4. She was literally on an insane pace, getting like 12, 18, 14. She was, and everybody else.
Every time we talk WNBA, I'm going to change the logo.
Okay, there it is. I'm telling you. So no, but WNBA is actually an interesting sport to bet on, especially with the props, because the books haven't adjusted quite yet. There's still an edge to be had if you do your research right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just because it's still, the popularity is relatively new, so more and more people are getting it. So the books, obviously, with like, basketball, football, baseball, like they're doing it so long, the algorithms, like everything is set, ready to go. WNBA, they're still figuring it out. So there's just some edges to be had.
What are your thoughts? Speaking of WNBA, what are your thoughts on this whole what's going on with Caitlin Clark and the way that she's being treated? Obviously, there just was another incident with Kennedy. Do you remember that? Do you remember that guy from WWE?
Which guy? It's a couple WFD guys.
Because I said Kennedy. He used to, the mic used to drop down from the sky and he'd be like, Mr. Kennedy.
I don't know the mic drop guy. Okay.
Kennedy. You don't remember that guy?
I do remember him. I'm trying to remember his name though.
Mr.
I used to watch
Mr.
I didn't know his Kennedy.
Kennedy. So he's Kennedy. So Kennedy Carter. Do you know her background by any chance?
No, I was gonna say I'm only hearing her because what she did to Caitlin Clark with a nudge, and it's all over Twitter, and people are talking about it.
She got drafted, I think, 4th overall.
Okay.
A few years back, got into a fight with one of her teammates, so they kicked her off the team for conduct detrimental. She then goes to, I want to say, the LA Sparks. Bad conduct, kick her off the team. She has to go over to Europe. I think she plays in Turkey. Before coming back to the WWE. I was going to say WWE. Back to the WNBA this season with the Sky. And then obviously her and Caitlin had their thing. She gives her a shove. Like listen, if you shove someone in the heat of battle, I'm cool with that. There was an inbounds, but the ball wasn't even in bounds.
Yeah,
so over and cheap. It was a cheap shot. And then Angel Reese, I defended her. And I hate that I defended her when she did the whole.
Yeah. I hear you.
I liked it, and I defended her. But you can't be like, I've said this before. You can't be all like chirp, chirp, chirp when you're winning, and then like I'm a victim when you're losing. So all of a sudden now we're getting the same thing. Like she was high-fiving her. She gave her a big hug.
She was hyping it up. Yeah.
Right after that play. So it's like when people start coming after you, don't start crying and be all sad, right? That, oh, they're being mean to me. Well, act that way and that's okay. Like it's okay. Draymond Green is an example. He's the villain. He's happily the villain, right? He doesn't cry and say, oh, why are people so mean to me? Right? Like pick one. So that being said, what are your thoughts? Like, do you think she's getting overly picked on and fouled and pushed around just because of the attention she got coming out of college? Or is it that's just the game. It's physical. They do that. They're the exact same to everybody. They're being fair.
Yeah. So in terms of her being targeted or playing different, I think I probably have to go and watch some Sabrina Ionescu games, Brianna Storr, Asia Wilson. I want to go see more of these other players, see how they handle. Because I think I'm just seeing more of Caitlin Clark, just because her clips are always on on social media, YouTube, whatever. So you tend to see more. So I want to see if it is, but it does seem like the targeting, like she's being played a little different. Like even like defense, it seems like everybody who's defending her,
they're face guarding her full court.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
They were down 20 or 17 or something, and you're picking her up full court.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
You're not doing that. You're not doing that. Not in the Sky game, because she for a girl that can only shoot threes, she doesn't bring anything else to the table, according to Kennedy, who didn't want to talk about her, but then tweets. That pisses me off. If there's a camera in front of you, say it. Don't wait and then go back to your hotel room and do it via X or Twitter. Like that's cowardly.
100% cowardly, corny. 100%.
And that's everybody that does that. And we'll get to another guy who does that in a second. His last name's Durant, but not the one you're thinking. But yeah, so it's like they're picking her up full court. You got that other girl, remember, she hit her free throw and then ran up to her and up to her Like, dude, you got another free throw to shoot. Like, I don't
Maybe they're trying to make a name for themselves. Like everyone who seems guarding her, like they want to make it a moment. Maybe they realize all cameras are on her. They want a little bit of shine. If I'm her and they doing this to me, I'm talking my ish to them. I'm letting them know the only reason you fly in private is because of me. The only reason, like, if I want to be real, I'd be like, your kid's getting a new bed or a new toy because of me. Like, I'm saying some real, I'm really going in. If
all those people in the stands,
100%, yeah.
They
didn't talk about it. They're here for me. I'm the reason you're gonna get a raise in a few years. Yeah, I'm the reason all the good stuff's happening. Like, I'm really gonna talk. She never says that. Like, she's very.
No, she does. Yeah, I'm with you. I would.
Exactly, 100%. And I want to say, though, I do think it's becoming a problem because now it is a lot of talk is becoming the WNBA talk is going outside of basketball. Like, I'm seeing political commentators jump in for both sides and they have their agendas, right? You have the racial agenda, you have the sexuality.
Sexual, yeah.
Exactly. You have all those elements coming to play. I'm just like, it's becoming, kind of just like a toxic cesspool on Twitter with all the stuff being said, going back and forth. Yeah. So
she's problematic. When did being a straight white woman become a bad thing?
100%. I don't know. I feel like that's the more, it's pretty common. Like, I'm going to guess most women in America are straight white women. Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's common. Yeah. Like, it's not
100%. But yeah, I definitely think, again, the jealousy. You mentioned the tweet. What does she bring the more than threes? Like, come on. Like, are you watching the games?
Well, I actually responded when she, not that anyone saw it, but when she said that, I'm like, then you need to watch you need to watch women's basketball because you're missing out. There's a lot of players, not just her, who do a lot. I think she's second all time in NCAA assists, so I guess she's passing too. But it's interesting when someone says, "What else does she do?" That's like someone saying Steph. All Steph does is shoot threes. That's the equivalent. Right? Yeah. Is if someone were to say all Steph does is shoot threes. And the interesting part too, for all the losses, because let's not forget this team sucked. That's why they had the first pick. But they weren't good and had the first pick. So this is a team that sucked. And if you look at her numbers, because that's what people do for rookies, they don't necessarily look at wins and losses because you go to a bad team when you're the first, second, third, fourth pick, whatever. If you look at her numbers compared to all the other like superstar players, like their rookie campaigns, they're great. They're great. Did she start off rough? Sure. Was the game more physical than she expected? 100%. Was it faster than she expected? Probably. So when Diana Taurasi was saying, hey, she's gonna have a rude awakening. Yeah, probably. Most rookies do. Like I remember Jerry Stackhouse saying after his first week, wow, the NBA is really easy. I didn't expect it to be so easy. And then I want to say he faced Jordan and the Bulls. And he was like, oh, it's not that easy. Right? It depends who you're playing if it's easy.
It's just a weird energy too. Like anytime I see these other players talk about it, it's just like you can see it in their faces. You know what I mean? Like they don't angry. Like her. Yeah, they're angry. They don't like her. They feel like I'm just like, why? Like everybody's winning right now. All eyes are on you guys. It's sold out, arenas.
Everything they complained about, making more money, people watching, flying private. You're starting to get all those things. You're going to get bigger shoe deals. You're obviously already getting higher attendance. They're having to move games to bigger venues. They already got the private chartered or the chartered flights now. We've already talked about this a couple of weeks ago. 2025 new TV deal. So you're getting everything you want, and I equate it. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it. When Magic and Bird came into the NBA, they didn't get targeted. Of course, they got knocked over and pushed and fouled, and that's the way the NBA was in 79, 80, 81. Their first few years. That's how it was. But no one went out of their way to say, what does Bird do? What does Magic do but flashy passes? Like, could you imagine? They got because they weren't dumb. They knew that the league was on the verge of bankruptcy. And here are two guys that are going to bring their college rivalry into the NBA and give it an opportunity to make everybody more money. Because at the end of the day, guys, it's business. It's a business. And I'm telling you right now, as a businessman, be careful what you wish for. You want to push this girl, hate her. And she goes, you know what? I'm going to take that $5 million and go play Big Three or whatever.
I honestly wanted to do that just so they could see their ratings collapse, the attendance drop. They'll be like,
and that's exactly what's going to happen. And it's, listen, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying, because I've said, for, you know me, I'm a huge proponent of the WNBA. I've been telling people, everyone who complains, I say, go watch a game, right? You're complaining about how much they get paid. Go watch a game. Go buy some merch. Go do those things, because those are the things that are going to make it better, because it's a wonderful game to watch. I told you I teach it. I use it to teach my youth players, because they're more fundamentally sound. So because people are, you hate, I love the game, but you watch, you do this, she leaves and the ratings go.
Yep.
And then you're gonna be crying again that, oh, now we have nothing. Why doesn't anybody watch? Well, you had a chance and you blew it, right? Like, you had a chance and you blew it. It's the NBA I'm seeing all over again. Like, the WNBA right now is where they were in the 80s, or in like 1980. They have an opportunity to grow it, because if you remember, even in the 80s, Bird and Magic came, but there's still tape delay. TV shows were still getting bigger ratings, unless you had, well, I had a satellite dish so I could catch all the local games from all over the US, but most people only saw like whatever local game they could get. So like here in Toronto, you probably got WGM, so you saw Chicago games. You probably got maybe the occasional Detroit game or New York Knicks game via Buffalo or whatever.
Like, it was not like NBC, ABC, the big networks then?
They didn't have the national televised deal. There was one through TNT and the other one was through CBS, and CBS didn't do it. What's up? So there was that wasn't there. Gotcha. Now again, if you had, like, CBC, for example, would do, like, here you'd see maybe a Celtics game or whatever. In LA, you'd see the Lakers game. In Portland, you'd see the Trailblazers game, but it was their local CBS affiliate. And so again, unless you had a satellite, like I said, because people forget, or maybe they weren't lucky enough to have this. You remember the big ones that were in people's
satellite dishes,
not just little ones on the side of your house, like a massive, and you would turn it around and be like, oh, I got CBS LA. Okay, I can watch a Lakers game, or I could watch not that anyone watched a Clippers game, but you could watch the local, I got a lot of Atlanta games because of TBS. So anyways, so there's I'm one of the fortunate ones. Most people weren't like that.
Yeah.
My point is, that's where they are. And there came a point where now, Bird and Magic had their, brought up the popularity, and you had Hakeem and Dr. J and Jordan came in. All these guys started to come in, build up to popularity. And people don't remember this. In 1988, NBC went to David Stern and the NBA and said, hey, we want the next TV deal to be with us. We want to take you away from CBS. Now, keep in mind, CBS, TNT, there were smaller little deals. Like, they had there was like $1 million.
It was the big 3 or big 4. Yeah, they weren't a part of it.
But there was like $1 million that the NBA was getting per year. If you add them all up, maybe a few $1 million. NBC comes in 1988 and says, your next TV deal, we want to offer you, I want to say it was in the neighborhood of like $600 million.
Look at a big jump.
And we're a huge jump. And we're going to do live, but you have to get all the fighting out of it.
Clean it up.
Have to, because no one wants to see. Listen, this is racially motivated. No one wants to see a bunch of black dudes fighting on the court. It's that.
Different time than 100%.
But that's what they said. They look at these guys as cokeheads and thugs, and they don't want to see that. They want to see basketball because they like the basketball. They don't like the other stuff. Well, what was the cause of most of the fights? Flagrant fouls. That's where in 1988 is actually when they wrote that flagrant foul rule. And then in 89, we all know, or not 89, 90, Jordan, 90, Jordan goes to David Stern and it's like, hey, the Detroit Pistons are trying to hurt me. You guys need to do something about it. Most people think it was because of Jordan they put in the flagrant foul rule. No, it was agreed to with NBC a year and a half earlier. And they said, hey, don't worry about it. We're putting in this flagrant foul rule, whatever. The next year, 1991, they put in the flagrant foul rule. They get the huge TV money. And then the Bulls win their championship, go on to three-peat. So now everything just kind of crescendos, perfect timing for everything, right? Your biggest star becomes a champion. the game is cleaned up to a certain extent. There were still fights and stuff. If you saw any Knicks games, you you still saw fights, but it was a lot cleaner. It was a lot cleaner. And so my point is, that's where the WNBA is today. And if they and listen, some of this is racial, guys. It is. If they piss off their biggest demographic. Right, like what's the biggest demographic in the U.S.? Go look it up. I'm not going to tell you. Go look it up. They piss them off and they go, forget it. Well, okay, but don't be mad that you're not making any money. Like, you can't piss off. It's a democratic country. You piss off the majority, you're gonna lose.
You're screwed 100%. That was interesting. I remember I was reading an article. It was like a month and a half back ago, talking about how Michael Jordan was the first African American athlete fully embraced by quote unquote white America. There's a whole thing that they did an article on, right? Corporate America, exactly, corporate America. And then I look back, and then I remember Michael Jordan, even, I don't know if he said it or someone was saying, like, you say the way he carried himself, the way he articulated himself, the way he dressed, it was very, I don't know what I want to say.
He was very calculated.
Exactly, very calculated, 100%. He knew what he was doing.
He has this line that he said that everybody hates him for.
Oh, the political thing, right?
Yeah, Republicans buy shoes too. He understood. Like, it's so funny. He was the first one that understood it's a business, right? I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man. And he handled his business, man. Shout out to Jay-Z. Because that's what he did. He's like, I'm not going to offend anybody. Now, people don't know behind the scenes, he was doing a lot of charity work, and he's built hospitals in inner cities and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. He just doesn't publicize it because he is. Now, some people get mad at him for that because he doesn't stand up and say things, politically. He doesn't stand.
I just think he prefers being a private person too. Like, I just know that he
as private as you can be, being him, right?
Exactly, being him. Yeah, I just know that he loves being in front of the camera. Like, he's cool.
That's why corporate America loved him, because he had the skill, he had the talent, he had the good smile. Like, he was a good looking dude, nice smile, and he was polished, he was put together. He tried not to get into a lot of controversial situations. Now, he still did, especially with his gambling and some other things. But he was for sure, like, everybody, all the money, even Wilt Chamberlain. Think about Wilt Chamberlain, who never gives says anything nice about anyone except for maybe Bill Russell. Wilt Chamberlain said every single player in the NBA, he said this kind of mid-90s, late 90s, right before he passed, he's like, everybody who makes money in the NBA better thank him. He's the reason. Yeah. He got the huge salary. He got, like, if you remember his last two seasons when he was making $30 and $33 million per season, that was like 110% of the Bulls salary cap.
Yeah, I never understood how he got paid that when there was a cap situation. I thought
the Larry Bird rules. You could re-sign your own free agents for anything.
Then they had less restriction on using the Larry rule.
Well, it's on. Here's the thing. That's why he needed to. One of the reasons people, again, we're going way off topic here, but one of the reasons, and people always want to say, oh, because he couldn't win without Phil and Scotty. No, dummy, is that if he were to have stayed in that for that 99 season, and let's say those guys weren't re-signed, they have no money. Because his salary that he would have alone is the salary cap. So you couldn't. All they could do is re-sign their own players. So
they have to keep
if they let those guys leave, they're going to bring in a bunch of minimum dudes. And I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, Michael Jordan. Hell, just think about it. LeBron James, your guy, had Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and said, and I quote, "We put together a super team." I don't even believe in super teams. I'm using his words. We put together a super team, but we didn't have enough around us to win because we had to fill out the roster with minimum players.
Joel Anthony.
Even him with two other max guys said, I couldn't win with a bunch of minimum guys. So imagine what Jordan would have done in 99 with himself and a bunch of minimum guys.
100%.
It would have been the Washington Wizards. Like, they're not dumb. Like, you don't want to go from three-peating to having a crappy team. Like, people say that's like, oh, you're ducking the smoke. Nah, dude, like, that's just dumb. Why would I want a new coach and a bunch of minimum players? I know I'm gonna lose. No. Although it's funny because had they all come back, being a strike shortened season, that would have been perfect for a veteran team. They probably would have won.
They would have been super old, but because it was strike shortened,
it was strike shortened. So yeah, 60 games. They could have gone one more run with their guys.
Spurs won that next year, right?
Spurs won that season. It's actually interesting because if you want to really like piss people off, you know how they always say well, what if this and what if everybody wants to what if you to death, right? Well, if he didn't have Pippen, so I go, guys, like, you don't even know how lucky you are. When if Jordan didn't retire, you would have lost to the Nuggets to the Rockets. I said, you guys don't even know. You know how lucky you are he retired? Like, what are you talking about? You know me, I like to turn the screws on people. I go, if Scottie Pippen doesn't get the headache in 90, Game 7 against the Pistons, don't forget, he shouldn't have played, by the way, but he plays like 40 minutes, 38 minutes with that migraine. He goes 1 of 10. He's trash, right? If Scottie Pippen is healthy, they beat the Pistons in Game 7. They go to the NBA Final to play who? Portland. Well, we know how they did against Portland 2 years later. There's no reason to think that they wouldn't have beaten Portland that year. So now they beat Portland. They beat LA. They beat Phoenix. They beat Portland. They beat LA. They beat Portland because Portland made it 2 years out of the 3. So they beat Portland again. Then they beat Phoenix. That's 4. If he doesn't retire, they beat the Rockets.
I don't think they beat the Rockets.
Hold on, because they're what ifing, right? So they beat the Rockets. That's 6. We know that they win the next 3. That's 9. They go into the shortened season, and as a team that has won 9 straight, no problem. Boom, there's 10.
Hey, 10 in a row. Crazy conversation. The Spurs one is interesting. I would say if because Duncan had beating Jordan in the finals on a resume, and let's say Jordan was 6-1, and because of that narrative, people love the final stuff. And then
what if Jordan has beating Duncan and Robinson in a final and a 4-peat?
I'd say that'd be a whole other concept. I mean, people might consider, if he wins, I mean, he'd still be Jordan. People will still say he's their GOAT.
The whole they're losing to the Rockets, though, I don't see where people get that from, because if you look at the Rockets, okay, Olajuwon's going to eat.
He's obviously the mismatch nightmare for sure.
He's gonna eat. But so did Patrick Ewing. So did every other center they played against. Right? They really had 3 centers that were 18 fouls. That was their job. But do you know what record the back-to-back Houston Rockets hold that no one else has in the history of NBA Finals champions?
The lowest seed to win a championship? Aren't they the lowest seed to win a championship?
That's not both years. This is
that's the second of both years. What do they have, like the least amount of combined wins in the regular season for those?
No, they're the only team in NBA history to lead the NBA in 3-point attempts and 3-point makes and win an NBA final. Everyone would have thought it was the Warriors. It was not. It was only those two Rockets teams are the only 2 to lead the NBA in attempts and makes from 3 and win an NBA championship. So their game was very, very much predicated on shooting threes.
But how much did they take? I mean, during that time, I just obviously they.
It was a lot for that time. It was a season or something. 20 a game, not a season. 20. But it was a lot for then. So here's the thing. Well, you don't think Kenny Smith, Vernon Maxwell, Robert Horry, Sam Cassell, you don't think they're getting guarded by Pippen, Jordan? And again, depending on how they put the roster together, either Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, Ron Harper, Tony Kukoc, like, not that Kukoc was a defender, but my point is they're not getting all those threes off. Olajuwon can't score 110 points.
Hey, I mean, Dennis Scott was hitting those threes against the Bulls.
Dennis Scott was hitting those threes against the Bulls, again, because the one person that they needed was a rebounder. Whether it was Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman, it didn't matter. They didn't have a rebounder, and it changed their whole the complexion of their team. And that's why. But even then, if you think about it, if he doesn't take that time off and they are still the same team, they still have that continuity. Like, guys, like, everyone wants to. I'm not making an excuse. You play 17 games. You're not gonna.
Yeah, obviously Jordan's not going to be 100%.
You're
Yeah,
not
without
gonna-
doubt. Yeah,
yeah.
100% without doubt. I just think. I think. Look, I think Jordan would have been fine.
Let me
The
just
regression of Scottie was very real.
let me just give you the comparison. LeBron and Bosh and Wade, right? Go to the Heat.
Yeah.
Do they win that first year?
To win that first year, they lost in the
Did
finals.
they win the finals that first year?
No, they lost.
And what did everybody say? Oh, they had to figure each other out. So
I just thought LeBron choked. Like I always said, if LeBron plays well, they win. I'm not gonna, and I'm the LeBron guy. Like if LeBron gives them 27, 7-7, like he does his whole career, they win. You know
but my point is, if that team has won 4 in a row at that point, Grant isn't leaving, or they're smart enough to say, "Hey, this is our formula. We're going to replace him with someone else," and they bring in somebody else. But again, if they win, he's not leaving. Like, let's be honest, he's not.
Yeah, it's tough to leave when you win.
For all the Jordan was disrespectful and he was mean to me, really, because you won the 3 chips and then you stayed the year after. You know what I mean? Like you only left after he was gone. And what you do, you jump ship to go play with Shaq and Penny, right? So he wasn't stupid. He was smart.
And almost won one, and almost won another one.
And they won that series on his, motivated, above his average play. Like he played phenomenal. But anyways, back to what we're actually talking about, which was that's where the WNBA is today, where they're at this precipice where you have an opportunity to skyrocket or take a dump, and they're headed in the wrong direction. WNBA
has always had, I feel like the players have always had a likability problem. A lot of them come off as not likable. And I'm not the only one that said this. A lot of people have said it too.
They're not likable. If you think about it, do you remember who was? I wish I could remember. I have a bad memory. But there was an NBA player who said, "Yo, good looking, great play by number 21." And she was like, "My name is this, or if you don't know my name, keep my name out your mouth." Like, dude, he's trying to help.
100%.
Like,
it's cool. Yeah.
Like, why are you being rude? Right? It's like, it just, I don't understand they don't, not everybody, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course not everybody now.
But if they're not embracing, whether it be NBA players, fans, whatever, like they should.
And,
right?
and it's more this generation too, because I remember like Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops. There's something. It's like I thought like Lisa Leslie was she was in like TV shows. I saw her. She seemed like she seemed likable. Like she was cool. Whatever. Like I just never saw this type of attitude then with those stars. Again, Lauren Jackson seemed really cool, likable. She was starring those days. So Cynthia Cooper. So I just don't understand where or when this kind of changed. But that's definitely an issue WNBA has to figure out.
All right, let's get to the main topic. Not that it was ever any doubt. I hate this, by the way. I hate 7-day layoff because the finals start on June 6th, no matter what. I think that's stupid. I've said even for NFL, I hate that the Super Bowl has the week off. I think that's dumb. Because you build
anticipation.
Yeah, you build up all this stuff, and then it's like, okay, see you later. Like,
I mean, the Super Bowl I get because it's a 1-day thing. With the NBA being a 7-game series where like it's not, the build up to, if it's just one game, winner take all, I can understand. You can do a lot to the build up, right?
Whenever the last series ends, it starts 2 days later. Like, stop. Like, stop. Because both those, like, all 4 teams, like all those NBA teams have their stadiums booked, right? Like they have to, right? So it's just, when did this last series ended on Thursday? So you go, okay, Friday, Saturday, here we go, Sunday game 1 or Monday game 1, Thursday. Like, think about this. We gotta wait till Thursday.
I'm not mad at them giving maybe the teams get right from some injuries, some knickknacks. A week off, I'm cool with it.
A week?
I know. So look, I'm cool with them having fresh legs, especially Luka. My guy Luka was playing on one knee and still was cooking these boys, still doing his thing, giving the rest. I'm okay with it. I'm not too mad at him for it.
Then you don't love basketball if you can live a week without basketball. All right.
Yeah, we got the WNBA. We got MLB going. I'm just,
MLB is not basketball. Who watches?
I know it's not. Yeah, I know, but
who watches baseball?
So, hey, I'm betting those strikeout props when we watch it.
Check out the Texas Rangers, the boys. Great show here on Sports Fluent. They're good, by the way. That's a good show. The boys. But yeah, okay. So tell me about, what are your thoughts on Dallas? We'll start with Dallas because that's your guy, Luka.
Yeah. So Dallas. I mean, look, phenomenal. Look, they got the best player in the league, and Luka Doncic showed up, showed out, did what the team needed him to do. Big shots, momentum changing shots. Luka Doncic, Kyrie. We've seen, when Kyrie at his best, is just an incredible offensive force. There's just no defense to stop him. You kind of live with him making or missing shots. If he's missing his shots, it's cool, but there's nothing defensively that you can really do to stop him. If his shot's on, he's going to get his. And defensively, love PJ Washington, Gafford, Lively. Derek Lively as a rookie has been. I want to really go look back in terms of like rookies and impact of them in the playoffs. Like he's got to be right up there. Like it's insane kind of the impact he has. The decision one, I do think he's in the perfect situation with Luka and Kyrie, and the way he plays fits with them. It is perfect. But what he's been able to do, phenomenal. So Dallas defensively, they've actually looked a lot better than I thought. And offensive, again, this just reminds me of LeBron Kyrie, but this is Luka Kyrie, just kind of a different version.
Kyrie plays. Listen, the best version of Kyrie is with a big guard, and forget. This is why I tell people, forget whatever the stupid team lists the player as. Okay, forget. Just watch how they play. LeBron is a big guard. That's what he plays. That's why I tell people you're comparing him to the wrong player. You should be comparing him to Magic, right? Him and Luka. Like imagine, this is the way I look at it. There's Magic, and there's LeBron, which is a hyper athletic Magic, and then you got Luka, who is a little bit less athletic than Magic. Like that's the mold that those guys play in. And so Kyrie went away from having a big guard, didn't do so good. Finds his way to Dallas with a big guard, and Kyrie looks really good again. Be careful with your whole Lively rookie impact, because there was a guy named Magic Johnson as a rookie who had a pretty big impact.
Yeah, I'm talking like top draft pick. I'm not including the first, second overall guys. We got a guy not expected. You could say maybe the most unexpected. So,
okay, most unexpected. I'll give you that. And yeah, Gafford, Washington. I said it at the trade deadline when they picked them up, like that was going to be significant. I don't know if you know, the last 20 games of the season, Dallas was the number one defense and number one rebounding team, which they weren't obviously at the beginning of the season. So
the defense thing, I just thought it was like a short sample size. I wasn't fully believing it.
20 games.
Yeah, but then the playoffs, like if you look at the team, they've been holding teams. They've held the other team star players.
I think, listen, the last 2 years, if nothing else, have shown me I might start to buy into that a little bit, because the Lakers made a bunch of trades 2 years ago. They were the number one defensive team the last part of the season. They took that all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Now they got swept by Denver, but Denver was a significantly better team. But they went on to win the NBA championship. But no one would have thought they would have gone to the Western Conference Finals. But here they are based on that defense. Dallas this year, again, make their trades. The team comes together. They play great defense, and people forget, for all the like stuff that happens in the regular season, right? The way that they play, shooting the threes, blah blah blah. That's not how they play. Watch a playoff game. Pick any random regular season game, and then take a playoff game, and what you're going to see is less 3-pointers, more mid-range shots, tighter defense, lower scoring, slower pace, and a much shorter rotation, right? Like you're playing 10, 12, 13 guys sometimes in the regular season. Playoffs, 8. And 7 and 8 sometimes don't even get a lot of minutes. Like, because this is when it really, really matters.
And this is one of those teams, I think the Mavs, I don't think they'll ever be like a top seed in the West. Because Kyrie and Luka aren't giving this effort in the regular season defensively. Like, I'm looking at their defense. I'm like, this Kyrie staying in front of guys. Luka even on one leg, giving tons of effort.
More defensive effort than I've seen his whole career.
100%. So I was like, damn, these guys can really, really do that. But like I said, playoff basketball is just different. And at some point, it's like, since I do think, sometimes the media or whoever kind of minimize the regular season, I just see guys like Kyrie and Luka just not giving. Like, they're just not playing this level of defense throughout 80 games. It's just not going to happen.
Well, and that's what's tough about the regular season, because everyone looks at it and they get their awards solely based on the regular season, right? And you get a guy like Rudy Gobert, who's like defensive player of the year, and everyone wants him to, to give his trophy back because of what he did in the playoffs. Guys, I know it sucks, but the playoffs have absolutely nothing to do with those awards. And I'm going to go on a rant on Rudy Gobert here in a second, but let's stick with Dallas. So Dallas, I think, Yeah, I think you touched on all the key points. So that's where they are. Luka and Kyrie are driving that bus. The other guys, defensive, rebound, and playing their roles, understanding that, hey, we got our 2 stars. They're going to carry us. I think that's important. I feel like we haven't seen Boston play in like a month.
Yeah, I did see what you're saying 100%. I mean, they swept Indiana, so they had extra days off.
They go 5, 5, and 4.
Yeah.
And they probably should have swept those first 2 series as well. Let's be honest, because it was pretty much a cakewalk. You get Miami with no Jimmy Butler. Then you get I don't even remember who they played in the second round. Who they play in the second round?
Was it
New York? No, that was Indiana. Got New York. Cleveland.
Yeah, Cleveland, Orlando. Yeah, okay.
Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell misses 2 games.
Harris LeVert missed a game. Jared Allen was out.
Yeah, so that was a breeze. Then you get the Pacers, where Halliburton misses the last 2 games, but even still, they shouldn't have even been there. The only reason they were there was because everybody on the Knicks was hurt. Like, this has been the easiest. If Dallas can keep these games close, I think Boston's in serious trouble.
Oh yeah, I think if Boston loses game 1, I think just mentally they're like, whoa, they lose game 1 to this Dallas team, probably their first real test. Like I don't think Boston's been tested in over a month now. Like I don't think they've ever been really tested with that. Indiana is not that good of a team. I just don't think they're that good of a team. They're supposed to be swept. They don't play a lot of defense whatsoever. You mentioned Cleveland, injury riddled throughout, missing their best guys. They just haven't been tested, and that's a long time to go without being really tested by teams. And especially, they haven't seen a defense like this in now, again, over a month and a half. So it'll be a bit of an eye opener.
Yeah. If you think about it, the Pacers are a very fast-paced, no defensive team.
Yep.
Cleveland is normally a good defensive team, but with everybody being out, same with Miami, typically a good defensive team, but like they played Miami, it was, like I said, it's been a month. So I think they're going to get surprised. I can almost guarantee you Dallas wins games 1. I call it right now. I guarantee Dallas wins game 1.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Another one.
It sure is. Who do you got winning the series? We'll make our predictions at the end of the show. Let's touch on Rudy Gobert's Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
Defensive Player of the Year does not mean best defender in the league. We agree on that.
Yeah, okay on that. Yep.
We agree it's a regular season award and has nothing to do with the playoffs.
100%.
It doesn't have anything to do with what you did last year. It has nothing to do with what you're going to do next year. We all agree on that. Here's what they vote on. Now, you cannot like this or like this. It's up to you. Defensive statistics, steals, blocks, rebounds. I hate the fact that they use rebounds, by the way, but steals, blocks, rebounds. Advanced stats, defensive win share, and your team's overall defense. Right? Go look. It's the best defender statistically, both traditional and advanced stats, on the best defensive team in the league. Not number 1, but like one of the, it's got to be one of the top 4 or 5. That's who gets the Defensive Player of the Year. And I'm telling you right now, that sucks. And they need to change it. Just think about the way that they voted. 4 centers, now that it's positionless, stupidest thing ever, by the way. 4 centers and a power forward. That's your all first team defense.
It's a center bias for sure.
You don't think it's skewed to the center?
Yeah.
Right? You don't think it's skewed? And even when the other guys win, Marcus Smart, well, he was the best statistical defensive player on the best defensive team in the league. He wasn't the best defender, not even close. He wasn't even the best perimeter defender in his division.
His division was better.
Jrue Holiday.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, 100%. Drew's better. Yeah, no.
Perimeter defender in his division. And that's where I think people get the problem. Now, does that mean that because he's Defensive Player of the Year, he has to shut down the other team's best offensive player, full court? No, it's never going to happen. Right. So I think he got a little too much criticism about the Jokic stuff. But what do you think? Do you agree? Is it skewed to the center?
Yeah, so I think the way NBA voters, people who have a vote, they definitely skew it towards the big man. Because I mean, in a lot of cases, I understand the big man does impact maybe team defense the most in some ways, protecting the rim. Can be very vocal on defense, telling his guys go here, because he sees the floor because he's near the rim. So I understand that. But to me, basically I'd say about a year ago, or almost maybe a year and a half ago, I basically came when I'm kind of ranking or judging defensive players, bringing up defense. When I look at guys like Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, and Cameron Garnett are the three greatest defensive players for me. Those are my three greatest defensive players. When I see Tim Duncan,
who's your three best defensive players?
Hakeem, Tim Duncan, and Cameron Garnett. Three best defensive players to me
ever.
Bill Russell, I'm not including just because he's I'm not those he probably be like fifth.
Wow.
5, yeah, but those three, to me. And I just think, and again, when I see Tim Duncan has 0 defensive player of the years, Hakeem has 1.
I thought it was 2, but maybe 1. It might be 1.
1 or 2. I think he should have 8 or 9. But and then you have Kevin Garnett. He has 1. I think he should have won several in those Minnesota years, but because team defense wasn't good enough. So to me, this award, like you said, always incredibly flawed.
Yeah,
they're blinded by blocks. There's so many times where I see great players, especially great centers, they alter the shot, but they don't get the block. But that doesn't change the value they put in defense. Just because you're able to get a block, right? The steals thing is the worst thing in the world, because there's some guys who just chase steals or jump lanes and they get beat. And you can get a steal, right? And it looks like it's a good play, but it's like they jumped the pass, they got lucky, but they do that 6 times in a game. That one time they get the steal, the other 5 times they get blown by. So to me, defense is the one thing where the stats don't show a player's value or production as accurately as offense. Even though in offense you need some context, which is fine. But defensively, to me, it's so much eye test. Like, it's just so much eye test to me. You really have to go and watch what they do on the floor, because sometimes there could be a game where a big man has 3 rebounds, 0 blocks, and he can have a phenomenal game defensively. Phenomenal game.
You brought up statistics. What do you think of Jordan being robbed in '87?
I'd really have to go back and watch. Like, I'd really have to go out to watch. Like, I know these statistics you can read off the defense, but to me, anytime I say defense, like when people ask me, I don't have enough film knowledge on the top of my head of 1987 Jordan versus Cooper.
I'm just curious. Because they do look at stats: 125 blocks to 43, 230. Because everyone always brings up other players who got robbed. 236 steals to 78, 264 defensive rebounds to 196. A 5 defensive win share to 2.3, 2.4 to 0.7 here. So Michael Cooper won it, and I'm a Lakers fan. So I love that.
When you dominate like this statistically, I could say Jordan deserved it. There's some point, like I just said, I think the eye test matters the most. But at some point, if you're winning,
here's what's crazy about this. So Michael Cooper won. Do you know where he finished? Jordan finished.
Top 5
in the voting.
Top 5. No, he's top 5 is crazy. Top 10.
He's not top 5.
He's not in top 10. Like I said, it's so much narrative in this award too. Top 10. Was the team bad defensively or just not ranked highly?
The Lakers were 5th, so it wasn't like it wasn't like the Lakers were
maybe just a narrative thing. Was it Michael Cooper's turn? They felt like he was robbed before, or he was the it guy for whatever reason.
You probably, like, Michael Cooper had been. Listen, Michael Cooper would have been my pick because I'm a Laker fan.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, when you look at those numbers, this is how crazy it is. Michael Jordan was tied for 8th, and he dominated him statistically by that much.
This is 87. Who else? How's Hakeem that year?
Hakeem finished. Hakeem didn't get a vote.
To me, Hakeem's the greatest defender of all time. Like, from what I've seen of him. But again, I want to go back and watch how he did in '87. But I mean, him not getting a vote, I can't imagine. To me, that's like Victor Wembanyama not getting a vote over the course of the next 10 years if he plays all 80 games. There's no way he should not get a vote or be in the conversation.
Here's what's crazy about this. So he did this. Jordan put up those numbers. Okay. He also finished 2nd in MVP voting to Magic that year. While putting up, so look at those defensive numbers, while putting up 37, 5 and 5 on offense.
Yeah, I mean, I could consider, what was the year? I think it was 86 or 87. I think Michael Jordan became without question, the best player in the league.
I think it was this year offensively, and the next year, because what he did the next year was was follow up with the same kind of defensive stat line, and then he got it. That's when he won the Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, but see, this year, I mean, like you said, I mean, with these stats, when I look back, I'm going to assume he was still elite defensively. And he was still elite offensively. So he was still the best player in the league in 87. He just had to kind of wait.
It was 86, 87. And so it was his third year in the league. You know, so it's interesting, you know, when you hear, you know, the Pippen narrative. There's no Pippen. There's no Pippen.
This is why when I judge players, like it's cool to go on Wikipedia, Basketball Reference, look at the stats, look at their accolades. It gives you a baseline, but you have to go back and watch. Yeah, and I have to go back and watch. Like you just have to go back and watch to really understand it. See if there was some things that maybe you don't agree with. Because to me, Mutombo, you know, you see the accolades, see some numbers, cool. I go watch him. I'm like, okay, I get it, but do I think he's one? Do I think he's? I don't even think he's in the conversation or close to a Kevin Garnett, Hakeem, or Duncan. Like those guys are just significantly better as a defender. 100%. As a defender,
no. As a shot blocker, yes.
Shot blocker, fine. But as a defender, he's nowhere even.
But I think that's also the problem, right? People look at shot blockers or shot changers and think like that's defense. And I think that's why centers get so much love is that, he's tearing down every defensive rebound and he's blocking every shot. But then you go back.
I get that in the 80s or 90s, I could see that. But especially in today's game, is it as important? I could see Mutombo be more valuable.
I think in today's game, it's more valued because less people do it. Right? Like if you look at the centers in the league, you got 3. Yeah. You got 3. So who's blocking shots and getting rebounds? Like Wemby's going to win the Defensive Player of the Year next year.
He might win it for the next decade.
Next year, he's going to win it. Hands down, unless they start realizing, for me, so Chill and I get into this argument all the time because I think it's harder to be a perimeter defender. And he thinks it's harder to be the last line of defense. And I'm like, no, I'm on the perimeter. And so, okay, the guys are hedging, but big deal. I can't touch them. I can't hand check them. If I take a step back, they're going to shoot a 3 from anywhere on the court and make it. If I step up to stop that, they're going to blow right by me with their, 4 steps and carrying. Like I'm in a no-win situation. And so, okay, my the defensive guy, okay, there's no one back there to if they get by them, it's a layup. But if they get by me, it's a layup too, or it's a wide open jumper. Like I don't see the. Like I get what he's saying in the sense that they're the last line of defense, but I'm like, but they also have to guard bigger, slower players for a shorter amount of space. Whereas if I got to cover Steph, I got to pick up Steph like at least 3/4 court.
I think elite defensive wings or elite wings defensively are probably the most valuable defender in today's game because I think one being able to switch like a guy who's 6'6" to 6'8" in that realm. Yeah. He's able to guard a 1, 2, 3, or 4 relative. If he's elite, relatively well, he should
probably guard a 5 because the average 5 is 6'9" now, anyway.
Exactly, he probably guard a 5, and I think the good ones they can still kind of not to say protect the rim as good as a 7 foot, obviously, but can still contest shots, make it difficult. Yeah, so I think guys who are in that 6'6", 6 age, the Kawhi Leonards, Paul George, LeBron James, guys of that mold, Scottie Pippen back in those days. Shout out Andre Kirilenko. Guys like that.
AK-47, yeah.
I'm telling you, AK-47. You put him in today's game. Woo!
Yeah, he'd be loving it.
Yeah.
So the title of the show was Robin versus Robin. I don't know if you saw the title of the show or not. And there's a picture of Jaylen Brown and Kyrie Irving. Because my feeling is that Luka's going to get his. Luka's going to do his thing, right? Jayson Tatum, I don't think is going to get his. I think he's going to be Tatum like we saw 2 years ago against the Warriors, where you're like, where the hell did he disappear to? And so for the Mavericks to win, Kyrie's going to need to play well because you know what you're getting out of Luka. And as crazy as this sounds for the Celtics to win, I think Jaylen Brown, much like in the Eastern Conference Finals, he's going to have to be the Finals MVP.
Man, if he wins Finals MVP over Tatum, a lot of people, that's going to be a whole other conversation.
If he doesn't, it might be narrative.
100%.
So how do you feel like Robin versus Robin? So if you could forget Tatum and Luka for a second, Jaylen Brown versus Kyrie. Where's the edge?
I think between those two players, the edge is clearly Kyrie. I think Kyrie's a significantly better player than Jaylen Brown. I just think offensively, Jaylen Brown is he's on a hot streak right now. Like he's hitting a lot of his shots that he misses a ton. So hopefully that continues for him. But he's just not the scorer or even creator as a Kyrie. Kyrie creating for his teammates. Jaylen Brown isn't that. Offensively, I don't think there's anything Jaylen Brown does. Maybe offensive rebounding, if you want to give him that he does better than Kyrie Irving. So I'm giving the edge to Kyrie.
Think he defends better?
I mean, defensively, yeah, defensively is fine. On the offensive end, Kyrie does basically better. Yeah, and defensively, yeah, he's definitely a better defender than Kyrie. He'll probably see a lot of guys will see a lot of time on Luka, but that'll be an interesting matchup too. I do think though, I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's Robin versus Rob because I think with Boston, I think Jrue Holiday and Derek White and Jaylen Brown can take turns being Robins. Like, it doesn't have to be that one guy. While Kyrie every night has to be, he has to get like remember when the Cavs won 2016? He had to give him 35 every game they won. You just have to. And I think this similar situation too. Luka's going to have to give you 30, 35. Kyrie's going to have to give you 30, 35. He's just going to have to do it. While with the Celtics, Jaylen Brown has a bad night. I think Derek White can give you 20 or 25 on any given night. Jrue Holiday, Porzingis. Yeah, his help too, Porzingis. I mean, him as a scorer. So I just think Boston has a lot more guys that can step up for a quote-unquote Robin, while Kyrie has to be the Robin.
All right, so that brings us to the predictions. We're going to end the show on this. I'm going to let you go first.
I got you.
Make your pick and make your case.
So, my heart wants Luka Doncic and the Mavs, Kyrie, get that ring, win that championship. PJ Washington hitting threes. Derek Jones playing lockdown defense, hitting his threes and mid-range too. And Derek Lively, Gafford doing their thing in the pick and roll, finishing those incredible lobs. That's what my heart wants. My brain is telling me Boston. When you have, I did say throughout the whole year, they've been the best team in the league. The amount of guys they have to throw at Luka and Kyrie, Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Tatum, Brown. Like no one's going to get tired. I think sometimes these other teams, if you have one or two guys, you can get tired. These guys can rotate. They can just rotate. Everyone's switching. Stay on these guys. Again, like I said, offensively, if one of these guys has a bad night, there's plenty of other guys on the team to make up for it. If Luka or Kyrie has a bad night, it's going to be tough for the Mavs to win. While Brown or Tatum do, there's other guys, like I said, with the Porzingis, Derek White, Jrue Holiday. So, but you know what? We sticking with the heart, baby. We sticking with the heart. Mavs in 7. Luka dropping 40, 8-8 in some games. We go with Mavs in 7.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
I'm telling you, we're going. We know sometimes it don't have to be so logical. Sometimes when you have the best player on the court, you can make it happen. You can win.
Wow, a surprise ending.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
All right. So you got the Mavs in 7.
Yep.
I like the Mavs. I do. I like the Mavs because they've been proving me wrong all playoffs. I picked the Buffalo Braves to beat them in the first round. They smoked them. Now Kawhi was hurt. I picked who did they play in the second round?
The Mavs played. My trip right now. Am I forgetting? OKC.
Oh yeah, OKC.
Yeah.
I definitely picked OKC to beat them, the number 1 seed. I thought those kids had too much going on. They were going to be. Dallas beats them. I said whoever won the Denver. I picked Minnesota, as you know, to make it to the NBA final, and I said for sure whoever wins Minnesota Denver, if it's not my pick of Minnesota, they're going to win the NBA final. They made Minnesota look like they didn't belong in the NBA playoffs. One series after another, Luka has looked better. Kyrie has looked better. That team, like you said, with Lively and Gafford and Washington, have all looked better. The problem is the defense that Boston's going to throw at them. You have elite defenders on the perimeter. Your best 2 players are perimeter players. Okay, let's as great as Lively and Gafford have looked, their best 2 players are Kyrie and Luka. And you've got Derek White, Jrue Holiday, Jaylen Brown. You've got elite defenders. Jayson Tatum, not an elite defender, but he can defend. He's got length. He's athletic. You've got, if he's healthy, Porzingis to kind of, hopefully alter some shots down low. You've got a veteran in Al Horford who, can't guard on the perimeter, but can help with, where you're supposed to be. He can be that vocal veteran leader.
Yeah.
So if they can do anything to slow down Luka and Kyrie, this is the team to do it. Just with the mentioned guys I mentioned before in White, Holiday, and Brown. If you slow them two down, you said it yourself. They got to score 35 and 35, or they're losing.
Yep.
Well, this is the team that can stop them from scoring 35 and 35. So it's for that reason that I think the Boston Celtics in 6.
I'm not mad at you. A lot of logical points there, which I agree with. A lot of logical points.
Celtics in 6. I'm going with my head, not my heart.
Hey.
Because but listen, it might work out. I've picked against Dallas every single round.
Mm-hmm. Let the trend continue.
And as a Laker fan, listen, it's breaking my heart. It's breaking my heart to pick the Celtics, but that's why I'm not going with my heart at all. I'm going strictly with my head. They were the best team this season. They won the most games. They've got all the pieces. They're healthy. And although they've had an easy road, someone's picking the Supersonics. I don't know how that works. How are we having the Supersonics?
Bring them back.
Can the Supersonics win? I like the I love the Supersonics.
Are they coming back? Did they say they want a team there?
I think Seattle and Las Vegas will get a team. And then what'll happen is those two teams will be in the West, and you'll get one of the teams that should be in the East, Memphis, or there's another Western team that should be in the East. Memphis or somebody will move over. And then you'll still have one team that should be.
Yeah.
Whatever. That being said, we're going to end the show on the final topic, which is my beef. The challenge has been put out there. On my Instagram, I posted something about Kevin Durant. It was based on a conversation, a debate that I was having with a group of other people who told me Kevin Durant is the sole reason the Warriors won any championships. And I said, and I didn't think it was crazy when I said this, Kevin Durant isn't the sole reason they won championships, because they won one before him and they won one after him with that core of Steph, Clay, and Dre. And even when they did win with him, you can argue if he was the best player or not. And statistically, he was there. And yes, he won the finals MVP the 2 years that they won, but he wasn't the leader of that team. And even
was the leader. Yeah,
even statistically, I can make a case, but I'll even give you that. But he was not the lead. That wasn't his team. He came in like a mercenary, and he had the big gun and the sniper rifle and plucked off a bunch of people and made it significantly easier for them to win. And when people say, "Oh, they never would have beat LeBron without KD," I say, well, if it wasn't KD, they were upgrading at that position. It would have been someone else. And
they had the money.
And what we saw, what happened to the Cavs teams, like I still think Kyrie leaves. And if it's just LeBron and Kevin Love and an upgraded whatever with Steph, Clay, and Dre, I still think maybe they don't win both. Maybe they don't win all of them, but they still win some of them. In fact, they probably, no offense, they probably beat Toronto if they have some. We won't talk about that one. So that was my point, is that he wasn't the sole reason that they won.
I think he was probably. I mean, I think he was their best player when they won the two championships.
You can make
that case, which is fine. But I think the interesting thing is so the first year they won, we understand Kyrie, Love were out, right? Young jumps in the team, they won. If those guys were healthy, let's put this out there, they were healthy. Warriors lose that one, cool. They run it back, they get to the finals again, and they lose that. Let's say they lose that 2016 again, same thing, Game 7. So that's 2 years in a row they lose in the finals. I wonder if the Warriors, then the talk would have been a jump shooter team can never win a championship. These guys are too soft. I wonder if they would have moved off of Clay or someone and try to make a big move. I wonder after 2 losses if that might have happened.
That team's very loyal, and I think winning in 2015. Or are you saying? Sorry, did you say?
Let's say they lost. Yes, let's say they lost. If Kyrie and Love were healthy, they lose that, and they lose again the next year, the fashion that they did, Game 7. Back-to-back finals loss. I just wonder what would have happened.
I would say this: if Love and Kyrie are healthy and they lose in 2015, I think they make a move in 2016 to bolster the roster. right? And then who knows what happens, right? There's a million things that could have happened, but so I think if they lose, they would have done something anyways, and then if they win, well, that buys them that trio, whatever they want, and then they'll just add to them. So of course, then Tony Durant, Kevin's brother, attacks me with nothing to do with what we were talking about, because as I said, the sole reason, and he says, well, with all due respect or disrespect, I don't care how you take it. You weren't there. You don't know shit. Essentially, when you think about it, all y'all, and I'm reading exactly how he wrote it, all y'all topics come from, now try to bear with me on this one because I couldn't keep track of what he's about to say. All y'all topics come from people who actually sports broadcast, not broadcast what the sports broadcasters are already broadcasting. Did you keep track of all that?
Yeah.
None of you know what actually happened. That great day, Kevin was begged to come, and even then, to go further, begged not to leave, too.
I believe that.
So don't get it effed up. I don't disagree with any of that.
I was going to say, yeah, he's probably right about that.
To do with the conversation. I then tried to reply back to him and tell him that, but
he did you one of those.
There's his comments, by the way.
Yeah. He's a little sensitive too. Might be running in the family.
Very sensitive. He didn't block me. He doesn't let anyone reply. So he wants to jump into yours. And his nonsense, but he doesn't want to hear anything back from you. So he says, yeah, this makes no sense, but go off if you'd like. The world is built on narratives, and the narratives, run wit and preach, are the furthest from the what is actually the truth. But y'all go off. Who gives a fuck? And I said, so then since he doesn't allow people to respond because he wants to just go, you can post comments on his post. So I said, hey, you're coming to other people's accounts and making these claims, but you're not allowing them to reply. Must be a Durant. Yeah. I poked him a little bit. Must be, because we know his brother with the burner accounts and blah, blah, blah. This is common knowledge. So, and he says, well, what else makes me a Durant? Say it, ? LMAO. Since you're stating facts, say it. Rich? I don't understand. Say that too just as loud as you speak this bullshit. LMAO. I don't understand anything he said.
Nah, he's trying to flex on you when you're losing the debate. Try to flex the money card. Well, I mean, your brother's rich though. I don't think. I mean, your brother makes a ton of money. I'm not sure about it.
Is that what he was meaning by rich? Like,
yeah, I'm rich.
That's what makes him Durant because he's rich.
Yeah, he's rich. Durant's making $80 million a year with whatever he's making a year.
But we know he ain't rich.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I know your brother's rich. I don't think he's making $60 million. But hey.
So I told him, as I always do, I speak nothing but facts. You're welcome to come on the show and address it like a man instead of hiding in IG comments. What he then did was take all of those comments and delete them. But I have pictures.
Hey, I would have been surprised if someone on Durant's team or something messaged him, hey, get rid of this now.
Because you're losing? Or
Somebody definitely hit him with that message.
So okay, so I'd always do a sanity check. Am I crazy for saying that he wasn't the sole reason that they won? That was the conversation. Or is he a little uber sensitive about little bro? Because he's the older one, actually.
Yeah, he's just a little sensitive about his little bro. Probably thinks people are attacking his little bro with other. I mean, I'm not that upset.
I do attack his brother for all the things he does wrong because he does.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not mad at someone's big bro. I could see him being biased towards it, right? He's not gonna look at the context what he's gonna see you attacking him.
He should be biased. It's his brother.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
But he should also then not comment like a punk and then delete. And
that's corny. That's corny.
That's corny. Like, the fact that I've never blocked anyone, just for the record.
Me either.
I've deleted. I have deleted because I've had people come and say, hey, that's inappropriate and da-da-da-da. Even though I still believe a lot, I still believe it. And most of the time it's factual. Now, if I find out it's not factual, because people give wrong information,
Yeah.
And like there's, I don't know if you're on TikTok, yeah?
Yeah.
A bunch of people on TikTok right now saying, "Oh, Canada got the creator fund and we can start getting paid."
Oh, I
No,
didn't even know that. Oh,
it's, no, it's not true.
Okay,
not,
gotcha.
but one person started it and everybody else jumped on it and is saying it.
Yeah.
So I didn't say it, but I'm saying if I were to come out and say that and then I find out it's wrong, then yeah, I'm going to delete it. A lot of times TikTok will just take it down and you appeal, but they don't put it back up. Nothing you can do. But anyways, so Tony Durant, you're uber sensitive, but hey, if you want to come on this show, Fluent and Chill, and you want to lose in a debate because you're uber biased, fans and biased will always lose to facts, right? That's why I say, like, you have LeBron, I have Jordan. If your favorite player ever is LeBron, like, I mean, you're a fanatic of LeBron, not you. You're a reasonable human being. I mean, like, the people that are like,
yeah, no, they're
he walks on water. I saw him turn water into wine. Those people, you're going to lose in a debate because you're going to get emotional. I'm not a fan. I don't like Jordan. I don't like LeBron. So I can have an honest debate about it and probably win if the judges are fair. And I say that too because you've been on debate shows where the judges, they don't care who made the better points. They vote on what they believe.
Exactly. That's what I said. Judges have to. It's about you could have it could be the worst kind of take ever, but if you have some solid evidence, you articulate yourself well, you have the points. Yeah. Like, all right, you won that debate, even though I think it's crazy. You won that debate.
Listen. I'll give you a perfect example. Magic Johnson is my favorite player all time. Everybody knows that. First player, reason I play basketball, tried to play like just everything about basketball that I am is because of Magic. And there was a debate show that I was on. I was a guest judge, and it was who's the greatest point guard ever, Curry or Magic? Well, you know where I land. 100% I believe it's Magic. However, the guy who was debating for Curry, I take it seriously, and maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. But I said, I don't care what I believe. Put that aside. And I sat there and I went, every time one of them made a good point, right? Or a counterpoint, I gave him a check. Mm-hmm. And the guy on the Curry side, I mean, 15 to 7. It was clear. And I'm like, I don't agree with you. And if I was on the other side, these are the things I would have said. I said, I'm going to go with the Curry guy. Whereas most people would have said, well, I believe it's Magic. He picked Magic, check.
100%, yeah.
So anyway, so Tony, relax. Final thoughts? Any shows coming up? Any things to push, pitch?
Final thoughts this week. No, not huge coming up. New song, Heat of the Moment, should be out soon. Just have to get some clearance stuff done and gotta get all that sorted out.
Can you play it on the show?
Can I what?
Can you play it? Can we play some of this?
Yeah, I mean, technically it's not out yet, so yeah, you could.
Not right now, or if you want.
I mean, we should. I mean, yeah,
no, but I mean, once it's out, you can say, "Hey, this is my new song. Here, listen."
Oh yeah, but it'll get flagged though, because all my distribution stuff is handled by distro, the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just anytime someone plays on YouTube, it gets flagged. I remember I was on my other buddy's show too before, a year and a half ago, and I played the song. Ends up being flagged.
How long? Even did you play the whole song or just 3 seconds of it?
And I think he played the whole song.
Oh, that's why.
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you just play a little. You do it like this. You do it like this.
Finish, please. Don't make me laugh with that half-ass gimmick.
And then
okay, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we'll get a little clip going.
That's one of the unfortunately that rapper that you just saw has passed away. Check out the Hoopstorians. It's one of their boys. They always play that. Their outro is a little video. I created this video. Did you like it? Check out the background.
Finish, please. Don't make me laugh with that half-ass gimmick. I'm about to get mine and it's about time. Call us Grindhouse. Everybody in a house grind. I'm just doing me. I ain't trying to outshine. Trying to kill my vibe is how you get outlined. I don't do it for the views and the likes, boy. I'm just giving you what I wrote last night, boy. I don't care if it isn't what you like, boy.
Lyric video. Do you see Jennifer Lopez canceled her tour?
Yeah, she's really heartbroken that her and Ben broke up.
Yeah, that's not what happened though. I mean, basically she put out she did her tour. Yeah, she did her tour, arena tour. Tickets weren't selling. She's not an arena artist in most markets anymore. She's an arena artist in big markets, maybe. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what happens. This whole like stuff when people say I'm spending time with my family, you don't cancel a tour that's supposed to generate over $100 million, $200 million for family reasons. Like Live Nation doesn't do that. Live Nation saw the numbers.
Don't they lose money if they do that?
I mean, you have a certain amount of time where if you have a tour, you can do it. So basically, yeah, she was going to lose money on some stops because tickets weren't selling. It's expensive to have tours. People don't realize up until like back in the day, even like in the 80s and stuff, artists usually didn't tour in these big arenas because it's very expensive. People weren't buying tickets for those prices, wasn't it? So yeah, she's not a 15,000 person arena person anymore. She's a 4,000 to 5,000.
She should do like a more little intimate.
Yeah, she just thought she was still Taylor Swift, Beyonce, or I mean, Justin Timberlake's still selling out arena tours too, even though his last album flopped. But shout out Justin Timberlake still because his fans stayed, whatever. J-Lo just getting a lot of hate right now. The music's not clicking. And yeah, so the tour. You'd be surprised how many artists, even a lot of these rappers, Future and Future and Metro Boomin, who dissed Drake, they're about to cancel their tour too because they're not selling out in all these markets.
Know who won that battle then?
100% because Drake goes sell without a doubt. But I'm just saying, so a lot of artists, it's crazy. It's not easy selling out arena tours. Like arena tours are
select. But that's where the money is, right?
I mean, yeah, arena. So stadiums are literally, I think Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Bad Bunny. There's like 3 to 5 people can do stadium tours. Right?
What a waste.
I mean, hey, it's you can do it. You can do it.
I know my wife and a friend of hers went to Madonna when she was in town.
She still does arenas. Good for Madonna at her age, still doing arenas.
Well, it's like her farewell tour, right? So it's supposedly her last one. But they said 1, it was sold out, but 2, and showed up an hour late. But the prices, I was like, wow, good for her.
Oh, yeah. 100%, $200-$300 if not.
But then I see like people like Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, it's a whole mortgage.
And they're like, oh, I do it for my fans. No, you don't. No, you don't. If you did it for your fans, like you wouldn't allow like people. People always criticize me when I say what I'm about to say. And like, well, the other people buy them and then resell them for all these ridiculous prices.
Yeah, resell prices.
You can put things in place that it doesn't get sold to these bots and other things that 80%.
Still has like $2,000 tickets that she'll put out. The one artist who actually does, so basically his front row seats are the same price as the bleachers. It's just about who gets it first for his fans. Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran's very
oh really?
Yeah, so shout out Ed Sheeran for that. He's always prioritized that. He's been that guy. One of the few guys who fly Spirit Airlines in the back and no one notices.
Really?
He's that guy because no one expects Ed Sheeran to be in Spirit Airlines. He could fly private, but yeah, he said he enjoys it. Just goes in the back.
Good for him.
Yeah, shout out Ed Sheeran, man, 100%. Hey, J-Lo, man, it's okay, J-Lo. Can't be on top forever. Were you surprised that you think like J-Lo, you would think in today's day and age, she still sell out arenas?
I'm surprised she even came out with music anymore.
Facts, that's true.
Musicians are so significantly worse than athletes about knowing when to stop.
True.
And I get it. The money's on the table. Someone throws a bunch at you and says, hey, do another album. Here's X amount of dollars.
There's not even money in that anymore, though. Albums don't sell like they used to. The money's in touring.
Oh, no, don't they get downloads and stuff? Or well,
nothing. You get 10 million streams. I don't even think it's like maybe. I mean, yeah, I didn't think it's $100,000. It's so little. Trust me, fool. It's so little. Streaming money is not that.
Do you come out with a new album as a reason or an excuse to go on tour?
Yeah, exactly. You come out with a new album to kind of
like the one that drives me nuts is people who bring out new music and say, I'm not going to do any of my old stuff. And like, trust me, no one's coming for your new stuff. They're coming to hear your old stuff.
Justin Timberlake, perfect example. Everyone wants to listen to his older stuff.
Yeah.
But you still play like, I think I saw a set list. He's doing 18 songs. I think 8 or 10 from his recent album, and then the rest from his hits.
Yeah, I saw Madonna's playlist for that, and it was like it takes you on a tour of her musical journey, and I'm like, that makes sense. That's what people want to hear. They want to hear those songs that they know all the words to. You know them. You picture the video in your head still, because now the new ones, it's just like it's a song and it's gone. It's everything that happens. I purposely have done, this is just as a test, I purposely do stuff that I put out like horrible content or controversial content just to see. And people attack me and death threats. And like a week later, done. It's gone. It's gone. They forgot about it. They move on.
100%. Yeah, people, like you said, the attention span, memory thing. And then with artists who, like you said, you don't even do new music. It's much like it hurt because again, with the J-Lo thing, she was going to do after the tour. She was about to do. She was negotiating a contract to do a residency in Vegas, like all older acts they tend to do.
Yeah.
She was going to get a 90 show, 90 million, so $1 million a night. She was about to do that. She was going to big deal, $1 million a night. But then because this tour was selling so bad, then the MGM, they're like, hold up. That guarantee's a little too high right now. So they have to, So her coming out with music and tour cost her $90 million, which are ready to sign off right away. But now that's in a situation.
Oh, she got the Dennis Schroeder deal.
Exactly.
Lost. Take the money.
I'm gonna
say, you know what? 90 shows for 90 million. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cancel the tour and do this instead.
I wouldn't even announce the tour. I'm good with the Vegas residency. Like, hey, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, you can have your stadium tour. That's cool. For $1 million a night, I get to just live in Vegas, chill. People don't understand. Like, traveling can be annoying. I know it sounds great traveling the world doing that, but
people will come to Vegas to see you. Ask Britney Spears, ask Celine Dion, ask all of them who did residencies.
And it's more profitable, like I said, because your expenses are lower. You're not flying around private. You're not flying around your crew, equipment.
Yeah. They got you living in the best penthouse.
100%. Yeah, you're living. So,
and I love Vegas. So, all right, we're way over time. Yeah. This is 6 Degrees North, Fluent, Jalen. Next week, draft preview.
Let's do it.
Do a draft preview. Yeah. Bronny James projected to go 52 to the Golden State Warriors. We'll talk about it.
I know Vegas is rich when he's getting the most bets to go first overall. People just have money to blow. It's insane.
Who's bet what?
So Bronny James has the most bets on him to be drafted first overall. People just I don't know. People just
gonna pick him first overall.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like Vegas just makes money. Like I just don't get it.
Well, that's why the house always wins. We'll talk about it next week on 6 Degrees North.